It's not that you spelled something wrong.
Welcome, everybody, to UPR Special, the Royal Rumble. Come on, guys. It is Royal Rumble season. We are on our way down the road to WrestleMania, and it begins starting next week and all week long on UPR and continuing into next week on UPR. We'll be talking about the Royal Rumble. It is one of the granddaddy of them all. It's one of the top four. It's not the granddaddy, that's WrestleMania, but it's the big four. Okay, and it's arguably one of the best there is. To me, next to WrestleMania, there is nothing better than this time of the year, the Royal Rumble. I am your host, the head of the table, Mike Knox. That's spelled with 3 X's because simply like Hangman Knox, I am hardcore. And up here to my left, I got my wild man called Bad Man Jack because, frankly, I'm going to find out how bad of a man he is when we get down to Dallas, Texas. See if he bills me out of jail when I'm spitting all over that Dallas star. What's going on, Jack?
Yo, what's going on? Glad to be here. Talk Royal Rumble. Like you said, Big Four, one of the more unpredictable pay-per-views. And it's fun. You know, we get to do the countdown once again this month where we go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you hear a bah, and then you go like, and then someone disappointing come out. Or someone cool comes out. So I can't wait to talk about what is the top 5 or our top 5 favorite Royal Rumbles.
And up here, the executive consultant's up here doing executive consultant things. He's writing. He got a show after this show, so we got to get this show started because UPR does not start with the movies because UPRE got something tonight as well. What's going on, executive consultant?
It must be really good to have me here. Top 5 pay-per-view because they officially announced it's 5 now. Top 5 pay-per-view right here will Rumble, the third longest running pay-per-view for WWE, or is it no longer a pay-per-view? It's called a premium live event, first time for the Royal Rumble, but it's going to be next week in St. Louis, Missouri. I'll be there representing UPR. Looking forward to it, but Royal Rumble is such a fun event. Royal Rumble brings a lot of fans. That's why they have it in the stadium. And we had a lot of special Royal Rumbles. Hey, Ron said it best when he said you get the countdown and you usually have somebody sucky, or you can have somebody good, or you can have a surprise. That is all the fun of the Royal Rumble. A quick way to get 30 or 40 if you count 2011 superstars into the event. And I can't wait to talk about my top 5. Can't wait to hear about your top 5. If you're a ham and egger in the chat, go ahead and talk about your top 5. I'm interested in hearing it.
Well, if you're not a ham and egger,
jackasses. I hate when you jackasses decide that y'all going to skip ahead. I can't stand it. We're doing top 5 for a reason.
And y'all put the top. Y'all stop put coming at the peanut gallery all the time. You got to stop. Okay, they can do the dumb stuff that they do because this is still the show for the intelligent wrestling fan. And sometimes intelligence doesn't come free; it's at a premium. All right, so we got to teach them. We got to motivate them. We got to mold them in the image of intelligence. Okay, so that's what we have.
You know what?
To do.
You know what? I'm about sick of you. All right, that's why you asked.
Hold on, I think I heard that lost. He got like smashed. He lost. No homies was involved.
His own girlfriend booed him.
Damn.
No, that's
awful. How you get booed by your own old lady?
Well, Barbara's
well, any hoot, the hoot that we started is all week. Like I said last week on Around the Blocks with Mike Knox, you can find me every Monday at 6 o'clock. We talked about our top 5 Royal Rumble winners. Then this past week, when the executive consultant joined us, we talked about our top 5 Royal Rumble moments that we had. So today, in the tradition, we are doing the top 5 Royal Rumbles of all time. Now, a lot of things have took place. Okay, now this is gonna be a little different because I started off with my number 5, and in my number 5, I had my number 1 moment and my number 2 winner.
My number 2.
But it's gonna be number 5 today, and that is to me He's not HH, but he's close. But Ric Flair, okay? Ric Flair, 1992, with a tear in my eye. The second greatest promo, maybe third. I give it top 4. Can't go there. Won't let y'all bait me into that. Top 4 promo of all time. Everybody knew he needed to solidify himself by coming from WCW, NWO at the time, over to WWF, WWE now, and do something significant. And he done what was the first time ever doing it, winning the title at the Royal Rumble. What's going on, Charmaine? Yes, I acknowledge. Thank you for acknowledging me. But that's my number 5, Jack. It's the 1992 Royal Rumble. It's Ric Flair. It's just, it was amazing. The Rumble in itself was just fantastic. Okay. I mean, just how it took place in the ins and outs and the pacing of this. It was an awesome event. I don't know if you might have been too young to remember that.
I was very young, but I've always heard a lot of people talking. I know it's the 30th anniversary of the 1992 Royal Rumble. A lot of people put that as that. I'm surprised you said 5. I thought that was going to be your number. Well, because I've always heard such great remarks about it. It always seemed like it was either number 1 or number 2. I'm in the middle of my talking.
I know,
Tell you what.
Mike disrespected me. He said because she's saying hi to me and then hi to you.
No, if that's how you read with those 4 eyes, then brother, we have a
hello,
called
my tribal chief. Hi, Mike. No, Mike. The tribal chief is Chris Harris.
Okay, well, you broke my heart, but it's okay. But that's okay. We all have our tribals. We all have our chiefs, and that's the problem. We don't have enough Indians, but I have chiefs. So it's okay. Keep cooking there as you took away Jack's soliloquy so you can acknowledge yourself like you pleasure yourself at night, like we all know that already. Jack, please, he interrupted you for no reason.
And Mike, let me tell you, I do appreciate you.
Interrupted you for that?
I know, right? Just to get the floor. No one. Hey, run the show. Then here's Chris. Right. Hey, I'm just going to take over anyway.
I got it.
Yeah. No one. Chris, Ron, you need to take control. Also, Chris, shut the fuck up, Ron. Okay. So let's go. You said 1992. I didn't really have a lot of stuff from the 90s. So when I was coming up with my list, I was like, man, what? Because it's about moments and things that stood out to you. Mm-hmm. I want to go with number 5 for me. I want to go with 2018, the Women's Royal Rumble. I thought that was such a really cool thing that they gave them a Royal Rumble. And I think what for me was, I remember playing.
I'm sorry, I was
2018. That was the first one. That was the very first one. That was the one Oscar won. There was that little scare. I mean, I didn't think
the Women's Royal Rumble. Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
I'm sorry. Let me be more clear. The Women's Royal Rumble. That was the first one that they had, and there was this little scare where you thought Nikki might win because she had that long reign as the Divas champion. So you sit here and go like, oh, are they gonna do that? Which they did, and they went with Oscar. And I thought they did it well. They did this very well. They did this well done. Like it was really well. From the nice little surprises that we got that this year they're doing the Royal Rumble, and I think that them spoiling some of those surprises was a bad idea personally, but that is what it is. But I go with the 2018 Royal Rumble.
Well, they got no choice right now. They got
I guess not. I guess not. But how cool would have been some names I didn't mind. And I'm not sure. And with Mickey, I'm saying you got it from another brand. I think if you heard her music, it doesn't matter if it was her TNA or her current country. It's a hardcore. Yeah, she's saying that.
Hardcore country.
Oh man,
I agree with you. She said that Vince might say, "I know what I said," but
hard subject to change. That's the total package name. So I'm sorry. Continue, Jack.
No, all good. But I so I don't hold up too much time. I went with the 2018 Women's Royal Rumble for my number 5.
Executive consultant. Clearly, it's your turn. It's your turn. Number 5. Who you got?
Who's muting me?
I don't. My hands on my damn keyboard. What's up? You're muting yourself.
Why would you do that?
Because you're an asshole. You did it to me. I love when you say his middle name. You start laughing. Go ahead, take the floor, man.
All right. So I completely forgot, and I feel bad because I forgot about Royal Rumble. So I have to add this into my honorable mention. Right?
Why do you get to do this every show?
Well, if you know I'm going to do it, then you should go ahead and start doing it, right?
Jesus Christ.
Like, come on. I always do honorable mentions because when we get to a certain amount, we do not.
You don't want to leave certain things out. I get that.
Correct. And it needs to get the respect that it deserves. So for
It's not called the show. It's not called the respectable Royal Rumbles. It's called the top 5 Royal Rumbles. So it's no disrespect. If it was disrespect, it's done by you. It's your 5. It's your 5. So come on, it's not disrespecting the list.
When Mike is trying to say, not everyone could get a medal, dude.
Here it is, participation trophies.
Yeah.
I call it a Mizzy.
A Mizzy.
Oh, that sounds awful. That sounds
if it won a Plexi Award, then maybe it'd been awesome. But go ahead.
All right. Anyway, so for my honorable mention, because I'm still going to give a motherfucker. Right. I didn't give any credit to the women's Royal Rumbles at all, and that bothers me because I thought they had pretty good ones. I didn't like 2019, but 2018 was pretty good and was my favorite until last year, which was 2021. I thought that was actually it was funny because it's in the Thunderdome era, but I think that was the best women's Royal Rumble they've had. And I thought, highlighted by Bianca Belair, it was fantastic, and it did exactly what it had to do. My only reason I'm putting it besides the performances that I saw of the Royal Rumble, the only reason I'm putting it over 2018, and I'll be brief about this, is because 2018 you could tell was an experiment. 2018 you could tell was a prototype. They threw everybody in there, which is why I respected a little bit more in 2019, which I just thought was not good at all. 2020 was a lot better. But 2018 to 2021, if you look at it, you can see the evolution, no pun intended, where in 2018, if you look at how even they got eliminated most of the time, it was always very, very safe for how they got thrown over the top rope. People were sitting on turnbuckles and then just falling. People were like placed over the top rope. Where in 2021, it felt more equal to the men's Royal Rumble when they were just going out there and they were just handling and taking care of business. And it just looked more like an equivalent. So I just thought it was a lot better done. In 2018, they were just playing it safe just to see if it could make it work. But shout out to 2018, but honorable mention 2021. My other honorable mention, which was my honorable mention at first, is one of my favorite Royal Rumbles. Hey, we all used to wrestle buddies when we were a kid. I used to do it off a certain wrestling.
I still have the Sting one. I still have a Sting one to this day. To this day.
I guarantee you do not surprise me with that. But I used to wrestle a lot of pillows in Royal Rumble style to certain Royal Rumble matches. One of my favorite ones to do it always was 1995's Royal Rumble, where Shawn Michaels, which is funny because we talked about this on Monday because he said,
I'm trying to figure out how this is an honorable mention. So, and like you're getting so much airtime when you don't want to say we got to hurry and get through this.
It's an honorable mention.
You did say that though.
And y'all interrupted me. It's an honorable mention because it was a really fun, fast-paced Royal Rumble. It was the fastest Royal Rumble in history, but it was.
I guarantee it's an honorable mention because it's in my top 5. So that point's not important.
I guaranteed. I already knew that when you said I'm trying to figure out this is an honorable mention. I already knew it. Okay, so thank you so much for spoiling that. Not spoiled. But anyway, so shout out to 1995 Royal Rumble. My number 5.
Yes. They do exist. They do exist.
My number 5 was one of the most star-studded Royal Rumbles of all time. Very excited. It was in New Orleans, Louisiana. So star-studded. Even the Price is Right host was in it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Drew Carey. It also was capitalized by Kane's 11 eliminations. Ladies and gentlemen, 2001 Royal Rumble with Stone Cold Steve Austin won. Really liked it. Great Royal Rumble. That's my number 5.
Nice.
Damn, that's about. I feel like I was stone cold on the Royal Rumble when he was checking his watch to see how long it was going to take for the next person to come out. I'm not going to lie to you. And listen, all that's fair. That's your list. All bullshit aside, great things you put in there. Of course, I've already mentioned I disagree with your number honorable mention, but and I got to do this to keep the pace of the show and just to honor what you said. I have to just to question there. And 2018 was won by who back? Bad guy Jack? Who?
2000
Oscar.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Who you got number 4, Jack? I want to go with you next.
Oh, you want to go? My number 1. I'm sorry, number 4.
Yes. I'm trying to figure out what's the point of him asking. Did you legitimately not know, or did you somehow want to throw Charlotte Flair in there?
I'm sorry. Who? Did you say the greatest women's wrestler?
No. Hey, I'm always curious, sir. I'm always curious. Like, how many libraries have you banned at? I'm always. Does that mean every time you say Charlotte's name? That's so.
2020.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay. Just checking. Jack, number 4, please.
I'm just interested. Every time you say Charlotte, then bad bitch play. That's cool. For my number 4, I went with 2016. So. I don't want to say it was so hard to come up with this list, right? There's so many Royal Rumbles. I feel like there's a list where I'm missing one that should be higher than other. But I'm gonna go with 2016 because it held a special place in my heart. holds a special place in my heart because AJ is one of my favorite wrestlers in the current era. He's one of the best. And when that rumor was going on, he's going to be called to WWE. It was, to me, it was like, well, if he is called in, I hope they do him justice. I hope they realize what they got with him. So when that number 3 came out, what was it? It was Roman and Rusev, I think, started it. Or somebody, I think it was Roman and Rusev. And Rusev, I think, it was Roman and Rusev, right?
Right here in Orlando.
I don't know if it was Orlando. You're right, because they knew that was the best place to start it at with AJ. If you're bringing him in, it's the smartest to bring him in Florida. So Roman eliminated Rusev, and you hear this music, and you don't know who it is, and then he comes out, and it's so well done. I love the production work here, where you see Roman, and Roman is just like, he's confused, he's baffled, he's like, who is this? And then you hear, you don't see it, but it says, "I am phenomenal," and the crowd just blows the fuck up. And I thought he had a really good run in that Royal Rumble. I don't know how long he went in, but it was a really good
crowd. Was crazy.
It was ridiculous. And sometimes that's what, like, his performance was good, but the crowd could really drive you in. So seeing him go, I knew how good this guy was. I know how good this guy is. But I was watching. I was at a friend's house. We were watching it.
AJ Styles from 28 minutes and 58 seconds.
Thank you for that clock. So he's out there and he's doing a great job. And I was at a friend's house. I said, and me and my other friend, we watched CNN. And we were like, I hope that these people know what they got, because I don't know how the WWE audience is going to take him in. And they took him in very well. So I got to go with 2016 just because of AJ Styles alone. I just thought the pop, the audience, I think everything went very well for him. So 2016. Number 4 for me.
Listen, Royal Rumbles are not just about the winners,
right?
The surprises, the moments. For me, the reason that's the Royal Rumble match in itself is why I'm here for the season. You know what I mean? I'm quirky when it comes to wrestling in a sense. Like, even as a kid, I've always loved battle royals, right? I know people like battle royals. My son loves giants. You know what I mean? I can't answer that. People like what they like,
Right.
And so, but the Royal Rumble in itself wasn't just always about the Royal Rumble being, the Royal Rumble. It had things in it. It had things that people want to see. And one of the things I wanted to see, I don't know who took that away, but thank you for doing that, was the leading up to WrestleMania 25, where we got to see Taker and Shawn. And this Rumble, they went in it for a significant period of time. And I think this is 2017.
It is.
No, 2007. 2007.
I'm sorry, 2007.
Yeah, 2007.
Royal Rumble. And to me, at this time, the WWE, you still had all the best in the company. Still at this point, they wasn't too old. It was like they were just all kind of right in the right spot. I thought, like, after the Attitude Era, that ruthless aggression era, to me, was the best time in professional wrestling. It may not be the one you relate to as a kid and things like that, but that whole 10-year run between 2002. Wrestling just popped for me at that time. And seeing these two guys, I've never been a Taker guy. I'm just not a Taker guy. Never have been, never will be, but I respect the guy. You know what I mean? But that Royal Rumble in itself, that match I thought was phenomenal. Executive Consultant, who you got at number 4?
Number 4 is going to actually be a recent one, right? We just talked about 2020, right? We did. Sorry to say that. Because then I had this, but I'm not going to mention the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm actually going to mention the Men's Royal Rumble. At the time where I have to agree with Mike. My favorite, I like all types of eras. I like the Golden Era because I like more of the sports field, the Golden Era. I like the New Generation Era too. I mean, it's my least favorite, but I liked it to a certain extent. I like the Attitude Era because of the unpredictability and the excitement of the Attitude Era. I like the Ruthless Aggression Era because it gave you some of the best matches you have ever seen. Where they still were able to tell stories in a match, right? So I agree with Mike Knox. And they did more dream matches at that time because they had the opportunity from the Attitude Era and them absorbing WCW, ECW. But 2020 Royal Rumble, and I mentioned this on Monday because of Brock Lesnar's performance.
Yes.
Oh, he was so great now. Yeah.
Was so good. It felt old school to me. A lot of matches nowadays, even though I might get excited for them, Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, do not give me the excitement as a Rock Hogan did back in 2002. As a Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit back in 2003. Then it doesn't have that big money match feel. And when Brock Lesnar announced that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble as a world champion, I rolled my eyes. I was like, what the hell? You're not supposed to have a world champion in the Royal Rumble. What the hell is he doing? And everybody else was talking about, oh, Brock Lesnar's going to be in the Royal Rumble. He doesn't wrestle more than a couple minutes. That man went out there, and I said it. If you didn't see it, rewind it. Look at it back on our YouTube. It'll be on my channel, Unpopular Review. You'll see I mentioned the fact that Brock Lesnar not only went out there and had a great match, I feel like he went out there and had about 13 good matches, short matches, but good matches because he did something almost outside like a John Morrison and MVP. But he went out there and sold in one way or the other way, everything. Even the Shelton Benjamin, hey, we're friends, we're boys, let's hug. Oh, I'm about to betray you. It was just a great piece of work leading up to this kick, where if you look at it, Brock Lesnar sold that Claymore kick over the top rope better than almost anybody I've ever seen in my entire life. That man flew and looked believable. And then you still had the Edge moment.
And one moment he made McIntyre. Exactly. Where McIntyre was unbelievable. That was the moment you said, damn, he did that to Brock?
He did that to Brock and stared him down for 5 minutes. Even after eliminating Ricochet. Get out of here, bully. Right? And then, but at the end, it still had Edge, AJ Styles, Randy Orton. You still had a lot of moments in that Royal Rumble where I have to appreciate this one. And that's why it was a tough call, but that's why it's going to get my number 4 because I still can watch it and enjoy it. And I watched it in New York, and that place popped.
It did.
Just as
much. I want to throw out. I mean, you guys put up some really good number 4s right here, but I was going to also mention when you were saying like he put over Drew, he kind of did the same thing for Keith. I mean, Keith looked pretty damn powerful in there. I mean, he had a very small thing, but I mean. Big I really like the part though when MVP. I know when MVP came in and he was like doing the dance. I said, Brock is too big and white to be doing it. Yeah. So
Big E came out there along with it was Kofi and Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
And then for a second, it happened a few times during that match.
There was a scare. Yeah, no, you're right.
For a second, you thought they were going to toss his big ass out the ring.
I know.
Until Brock caught him. And it was a shout out to Undertaker doing it to the Hardy Boys in 2002. But then Brock caught him, tossed him over the top rope, hopped over Kofi, clothesline Big. It was just a great match.
No, he bust his ass out there. I don't think Brock gets enough credit for some of the stuff that he does, but that was really
he's just starting to, and it's amazing because just around that time, everybody was clamoring for his ass to leave. We're sick of Brock. We don't see Brock. Ever since Brock came back in SummerSlam 2018, he's been arguably the most popular wrestler in WWE by far.
There we go. What we got here, Nova?
Doing exactly what I said, and she doesn't even mention Royal Rumble matches. She mentions matches at the Royal Rumble.
That's a good thing, and that's one of the things.
That's the conversation.
It's the Royal Rumble. Like every actual Rumble itself isn't memorable. We'll remember the greatest one of all time because how they advertised it, but it wasn't the greatest of all time. The biggest Royal Rumble in history. Those things didn't take place. But I'll tell you what did take place for me was in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
New York,
WrestleMania 2000 to me, the video game and the WrestleMania are one of my top 3 of all time.
You didn't like No Mercy?
And the game. No, see, to me, No Mercy is one of the things that everybody says it, so everybody just says it, so everybody says it. Without WrestleMania 2000, they came before. There couldn't have been a No Mercy.
WrestleMania 2000, that was the one where you could create belts and stuff like that. Yes, I do remember that one.
Mm-hmm. And so, but that year, again, we're getting out of the Attitude Era. Right. We're just on our way into the Ruthless Aggression era, and we're watching shit like this. We're watching shit like Jeff Hardy just beat Jeff Hardy when they were in their top. And then not on top of that, we get this man back, okay, to win the Royal Rumble. And The Rock, okay? So we're looking at The Rock.
He didn't win the Royal Rumble. The Rock won the Royal Rumble.
I said The Rock.
Yeah,
he said, but it sounded like you said this man back to win.
I said this man, and I said The Rock. Is The Rock not in this picture?
No, but it sounded like
it's The Rock not in this picture.
The Royal Rumble.
It's The Rock.
I love being on the show with adults. Like,
okay, The Rock's right there. Do you not see the most electrifying man?
You said rewind it. You said to win. We had to return to this man to win the Royal Rumble, and then you said and The Rock. I'm telling you what you said. I guarantee that's what you said.
Hey, let's watch it back. Let's watch it read.
And technically, Big Show did win the Royal Rumble, but anyway, go ahead.
Technically, it was a lot of controversy about that one as well. So you brought that
Rock's feet definitely did land.
Well, listen, I still think Shawn Michaels' foot hit too. But hey, it's predetermined. Okay, it's a storyline. I don't want people coming telling me.
Well, you remember last year.
If you watch TV in any sort, then you don't tell me about why I watch professional wrestling. It's the same shit.
I was gonna say last year, didn't they say technically Rhea won because Bianca's feet touched the ground?
Personally, I hated that whole fucking take. I hated that whole take.
What,
about
from
the
last year?
controversy between Rhea and her. I hated the whole take because that's when wrestling fans again want to have that bill that was passed in Florida when you want to pull out that good old white card. Yeah, I said it. Is it on here? Do it to myself. It ain't here. It ain't here. Okay. The thoughts and opinions of Mike Knox belong to Mike Knox and solely of Mike Knox. And
why don't I have to have two disclaimers? One for Mike, one for you. One for Mike, one for Willie. It's like
listen, you can call people. You have yours too. So pipe down. The floor is mine.
Everyone. The floor is his. No, you do got to shut up, Chris. The floor is his.
So, but I'm done. I'm done. Go ahead. Matter of fact, no. Jack, who you got number 3, buddy?
Oh, man. So it's my turn. So I got something from the 90s. I remember watching this back on a tape because I was like very, very young. I was just kind of getting into wrestling. But I go with the I'm hoping I get the year right. But the 1994 Royal Rumble. That was the one Bret Hart won. Well, what was that? Bret Hart and Lex Luger?
They tied.
Yeah. I
it led to a great Rumble. I mean, a great Mania.
I think
what makes a great Mania.
I'll be totally honest. Totally honest. Bret Hart was in, and now I get it's a tie between him and Luger. Like it wasn't Bret didn't just win; it was Luger. It was a tie. But I thought he did a pretty good performance. You know, he got his leg kicked in his leg by Owen Hart, so he comes on the ring and he's doing this performance. I gotta go with 94. I just gotta go with 94. It's hard for me to, huh?
Wasn't a fan.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, listen, anytime I talk, you're not a fan of anything I said. It's okay.
Facts.
I mean, well, this ain't new. Like, if you was a fan, I'd be cool.
It'd be cool. Sorry,
that would be such a breeze.
Is it butterfly? That's what it would be if that happened for him. But listen, I'm gonna go with you on that one because again, it led to a good.
Oh, you got the picture. Good job.
It led to a very good WrestleMania. Right? You even got the storyline you got with Owen Hart that let Owen shine.
Yes,
right? It let fans, pull away. That's what I love about wrestling. Like people don't understand the storyline.
There is
the things that came out of that Royal Rumble to tell the story because it's the road to WrestleMania. Okay, it led to a great story. I thought it led to a great story. Chris, I see you shaking your head. No,
I wasn't a fan of WrestleMania.
Of that WrestleMania at all?
It was known for 2 good matches, and then that was it.
I disagree with that, but listen.
I liked Brent and Owen. That was a great match. And of course, and I liked the ladder match between Razor Ramon
Of course, that's why everybody speaks about those 2 matches.
But outside of that, I wasn't too much of it. I didn't like Bret Hart Yokozuna again. I wasn't a fan. Lex Luger and
I thought it was great, and I thought it was something that wrestling fans needed. And we all talk about how we don't get that back. Right, or WWE doesn't care. It showed in that WrestleMania. Vince cared a little. You know what I mean?
The only thing I'll say is I wasn't a fan of that WrestleMania per se. I mean, if you ask me to rank my WrestleManias, which we probably do later this year, it will be my top 15. But
definitely be in my top. This would definitely be in my top.
Because of these matches. However, at the same time, that Royal Rumble itself, I just wasn't a fan of. That one, the WrestleMania, I was not a fan of, but I can see why it's appealing. That Royal Rumble, I just wasn't a fan at all.
I thought that, and I hear you with that. The Royal Rumble in itself, again, wasn't the greatest, right? Because I really can't remember much from that other than the tie, right? But back in those days, watching wrestling, going back a lot. That's why I was, criticize fans, and it's just what I like to do. Right, because because they're fickle.
No, they are. Listen, I'm a wrestling fan.
I have to sit here and defend you fans all the time.
No, you don't. You call them stupid and dumb.
You do.
And then when they make comments that don't suit your fancy or give you a Twizzler to make you feel like you're the good ship lollipop, you make fun of them.
You have Twizzlers?
No, I don't like candy.
Oh, no wonder you're not sweet.
No one ever told him he tastes just like candy. That's why you don't. You know what I mean? If you ate more fruit, then they would finish.
I like grapes.
Okay, I'm just saying. They don't finish off the way you eat.
We'll pick your number 3.
All right, well, it's your turn. Who's your number 3?
It was so funny because Mike was talking earlier, which is not abnormal. But he was talking earlier. It was like, you deleted it. I don't know.
That was so.
Thank you for that. And I was like, I thought I actually put it up because, ladies and gentlemen, I got the same picture. I was like, hold on, that wasn't a picture I wanted to put up.
It was mine.
And I didn't know what it is. We got the same picture.
That is hilarious.
is the 2007 Royal Rumble. Why? Because it was a great Royal Rumble from beginning to end, and it was so special. It had the greatest last two ending, however you want to
two last opponents,
of all time.
That was cool.
It arguably did between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, the two favorites to win. Because when we go in that Royal Rumble, you already knew it was going to be Undertaker, Edge, and Shawn Michaels and John Cena. You just didn't know who was going to win. You kind of leaned towards Shawn Michaels. Why? Because they were in San Antonio, Texas.
They both from Texas.
Yeah, they're both.
However, he's already won 2 Royal Rumbles. Are they going to give him a third one? Undertaker didn't win any. It was back and forth. It was actually, if you look at it, a good preview to, as Michael alluded to earlier, the WrestleMania 25 match would happen a little over a year later, right? So I loved it.
A few years later.
It was in 2007. The first WrestleMania that they had was in
2009.
Right, 2 years later. I'm sorry. You know what it was? These two ended the Royal Rumble in 2007. They began the Royal Rumble in 2008.
Next year. Yep.
And they wrestled at WrestleMania 25 in 2009. And, of course, it ended at WrestleMania 26 in 2010. So, yes, you are correct. That was incorrect. But at the end of the day, great, good preview. Their Royal Rumble thing, they only have really 2 minutes. So, I mean, but it was good. For what it was, I could enjoy this. I could watch it all the time. I really wish I wasn't so busy and I had time to watch a couple of these Royal Rumbles going to Royal Rumble next week, but I'm just not going to. Maybe I can watch 1 or 2.
I wanted to say you guys picked 2007, and that's a really good pick. But you know what I think I liked about it a lot about this one was because Shawn Michaels came back in 2002, right? Came back in 2002. They kept these guys away from each other for a great period of time. A long time. So 2007 was the first time you see him in the ring.
Well, I don't think it was something they had to go into because coming back, which Shawn's he's my GOAT, right? Midge over Bret Hart, but it had to be him and Hunter. And I remember, we're all probably those kind of friends, but they were friends who only watch wrestling sporadically. It would go,
right?
Oh, what do you think about this? And I remember adamantly saying, "It's a one-off. There's no way he's coming back. This is a one-off. That's it." And he stayed to this Rumble. You know what I mean? To this year, and damn, some people would say arguably his second run was better than Shawn's first run.
That's a lot of very strong argument.
I did a poll one time like that, and a lot of people did go with his second run over. And I mean, people voted for that first run, but the second run.
Well, the second run, he had a lot more because remember, we talked about it again. It was during the Ruthless Aggression era. He had a lot more competition, which is one of the reasons why he never won the world title. Besides the fact he didn't want to win the world title. He won it as a one-off because he didn't think he was going to be around that long.
With those ugly-ass tights.
1 year.
Oh, man. The
worst tights of all time.
True, but it allowed him to have more mobility. Because
dude, them shits was ugly, dog. Like, and thanks for coming in. And Elvis, you know what? I'm glad you brought this up because I got off air on Monday. And I said, damn, remember, Chris, I was saying I had something to say about the Rumble. And my question was going to be, out of surprise returns, who would get a bigger pop? And that's what question I wanted to ask. So comment below, let us know.
Sure.
Would you want to see Paige? Or matter of fact, make this a question for your thing there. Paige or Ronda Rousey? And I think Ronda Rousey
is a fantastic question.
Because I believe Ronda Rousey is
interesting.
Listen, Ronda Rousey by herself trumps out all of AEW, and you can say what you want to say. It's why we talk about Brock Lesnar being where he's at. It's about who people know and recognize. This chick was the baddest chick on the planet for 4 years. Don't talk about how she got kicked to wrestling, all that nonsense.
Right.
She was beating bitches in an Instagram when Instagram is 15 seconds long. Okay? That's how fast Ronda Rousey was finishing people. Her return, I know I've called it this. Others have called it this. The female Kurt Angle. Within a year or two, if she'd have kept going before the baby, the sky was the limit for this girl.
Right.
Okay? And I thought it's a good question. But your wrestling purists say Paige. I think Ronda, that crowd, which Chris will be there, if this happens, he ain't going to come back and let us know who had the biggest pop if they both show up. But also, question also coming in from the YouTube.
I'm not reading. I saw that. Canada's nasty.
Every week he's nasty.
He's so nasty.
Listen, you need to join my show, Nasty Canada, because that's how we talk every time we watch that pay-per-view. Oh, it's Perv Vision
Nasty
time.
Canada might have.
It is Perv Vision time when the women's.
He said he got him beat.
Nasty Canada might have him beat. I don't know.
Nah.
No,
that is a very good question. I want to talk about that a little bit more later. But Paige and Ronda, oh my God, that's because I can tell you, I'm a huge Ronda Rousey fan. I don't think she was appreciated by you dumb idiots enough when she came.
Disclaimer.
I just never thought she was appreciated enough because I will tell you, when
No.
she wrestled, she got it quick, and everybody thought she was going to get it quick, and that was a real wrestler. Thought she was going to get it quick, and not only did she get it quick, I never saw her have a bad match. She had great matches with practically everybody she was in the ring with. What was wrong? What was she doing wrong? Oh, because she wasn't what it was so annoying.
No, but Russell, you know, wrestling fans are stupid though, because like she really hit this thing. Like she hit this shit like you said, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar,
arguably the best match in WrestleMania 34.
Yep. What year? That was the tag match, right?
Right. Arguably.
And even then, take away that tag match. Let's talk about her single run, where she had to do stuff on her own. She was able to have she was able to carry a good match. She was able to do stuff on her own.
It was unbelievable, and I want to talk more about that later. But let's get into number 2. Nobody cares. No, it will be silent.
Oh my goodness! Damn, Chris. Damn.
Go ahead with number 2, Chris. You're going hot and heavy. I want to hear what you got for number 2.
Number 2,
T.
I wasn't ready, but I'll go. I'll start.
I got mine. Already.
I got my number 2. I could go. Oh, you want to go? Go ahead.
All right, you go ahead, Jack. Because I was sending out mine. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much.
No,
Mike.
I want you to take mine. You be taking my shit, so I'm gonna take the floor back. All right.
Well, damn. I guess I'm just gonna fall. There's no floor underneath me, so I might as well just fall.
You know what? Go ahead. You may not get this one. Go ahead.
I might not. I hope I do, because just for the fuck of it. But I gotta go with 2005. I thought that was a really good. There were stories told in there. And I think it was a great way to. So I feel like there was a few things that was done here. Kurt Angle had a triple threat match early in the night, lost, stole the ball or whatever from Nunzio, which everyone steals from Nunzio. He's in the Royal Rumble, he's killing people. Shawn Michaels super kick him, which is kind of the opening to set the matchup for WrestleMania. What was that? 21, WrestleMania 21. So you got that. You got these two guys that a lot of people wanted to see this match again. So they're slowly building that. And then also too, when you think about the last two, Batista and John Cena, you guys kept talking about the ruthless aggression era. This was a way to signify these are the guys. These were the guys. You gotta remember the ruthless aggression era. Like who?
You got Edge.
You had Edge. You had the Guerrero. You had all these names, right? But you had to make these guys like Guerrero, Edge. Like you could say Edge. He already had like this run in WWE, and he was coming out right. But I'm saying these were your face. These were who?
Edge hadn't won the world title yet.
No, he didn't. You're right. No, you're absolutely right. But these were the guys that they wanted you to know, like this is the future. Because someone like Triple H, who was running in that era, everyone talks about what 02 to 04, 05, however you want to put it. Like what was that? The terror of reign, the reign of terror, however they want to say.
Whatever that bullshit they were saying.
Yeah, okay. I love when Mike gets worked up. You can just see the steam going up his head. Like just the way he said that, whatever that fucking thing is. But that you had to make new guys, and these were your guys. John Cena. Think about it, these last two guys were the guys who carried that more John Cena, I say, because Batista got hurt in and out, and Cena just had a pretty Cena got hurt too. But my point is these were the guys. They had that botchy finish, which both of them go out, which lead to one of the more, I don't want to say comical, because I don't wish harm on anyone, but Vince McMahon going in there tearing his quad and then tearing his other quad. I mean, how angry are you just to tear both quads? And I think that I got to go with 2005. Like I said, it's so hard to like how I wanted to rank these guys, Royal Rumbles, but 2005, I remember that very well, and I feel like number 2. It should be number 2.
My number 2, you mentioned part of it.
Ooh.
And that's just why I had to cut a part of it off. Because by far, I'm a mark. Shout out to the wrestling marks of excellence. Okay, Dr. D, my kicks are my fix, and the boys over at Fox Sports. My Padres, my brethrens.
Hey, Padres.
I'm a mark. And the definition of a mark is when you make a list like we're making. And that list for me, what I make is I know what's my favorite. I think there's a difference. And I think if you're intelligent enough, there's a difference between my favorite Royal Rumble, mine, and what is arguably the best, right? I think there's a combination between the two. You have to have
when you talk about
ground rules.
Yep.
So 2002, this man, the return of the game.
Dun, dun.
You want to play a game against me on all platforms? My gamer tag before there was a rapper named The Game. I had that gamer tag because I wanted to be like Triple H. The Game V1. Shout out to Matt Hardy. That's where the V1 came from. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Okay, listen. 2002 Royal Rumble, which is full of everything. It had everything in it. You had Taker, Hardy. I mean, Michael. This is the one I think, because I'm not that great with the memory.
Right.
Isn't this the one with Maven got his ass?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
He drop kicked the Undertaker out the Royal
Yeah,
Rumble.
okay.
2002, baby.
And Undertaker beat the living shit out of Maven.
Oh my God.
I thought Maven was going to be that guy the same way I thought Jordan was going to be that guy, the same way I thought Christopher Nowinski was going to be that guy.
Yeah,
like
never
certain
made it.
guys,
They
you
never-
see
yep.
that, you know, like
Yep.
that
I thought
idiot,
Nowitzki had a chance.
that idiot Velveteen
I
Dream
think he
could have
got-
been that guy, but he was just disturbed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but certain people, although, are the guy. And I'm a mark for this guy. And people can sit there and talk he married the boss's daughter nonsense all you want to. Look at Vince now. Okay? Vince is about making money. Because it's called show business, not show friends, not show family. Unless you're the McMahon family. And his last name ain't McMahon. Okay? It's Paul Levesque. Okay?
No, Paul's
Triple
his
H,
first name.
2002 for me, Chris, my number 2 Royal Rumble of all time. My favorite.
Hey.
I mentioned earlier about certain years and how it was mentioned for the Royal Rumble match, right? So I'm going to mention another year that we mentioned something about a Royal Rumble match earlier, and that was in 2018. Another recent one, which surprises me. Ron mentioned the women's. I'm going to talk about the men's. I thought the men's Royal Rumble in 2018 was really, really good. And one of the main reasons is, one, Shinsuke Nakamura won it, who was an up-and-coming talent. I mean, it didn't get to go anywhere with it, but I thought the build-up for it at Royal Rumble was pretty good. And two, look at this right here. This was a moment. A moment. Rey Mysterio coming back for the first time, John Cena being there, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Randy Orton back there, Shinsuke Nakamura, just serenading the 10. It was just all really, really good, really well done. I thought it was played very well. And I will also tell you this, they mentioned this after a few times. Roman Reigns is always in the last two in there for some reason whatsoever. Why? Because odds are if you eliminate Roman Reigns, you're going to get cheered. Right? That's the formula that they work with all the way up into 2020.
That's
right?
No.
They had to bring him back in 2017 so Randy Orton could get the victory and get cheered. They had to have him lose to Shinsuke Nakamura so Shinsuke place can go crazy when Shinsuke won. He also got eliminated, I think, in 2016, but he wasn't the second. He was the third person.
He was like towards the because Triple H eliminated
Dean
him.
Ambrose was the last person.
Mm-hmm.
He might have been the fourth person, but I mean, it's just the formula they go with. I don't think it happened in 2019. No, he was still out with leukemia. So it's just all the things, all the pieces in place, but it was just a really, really fun Royal Rumble from beginning to end. I think it was more of a transitional one that didn't happen, but it was really, really good, really entertaining, and that's what I'm going to go with for my number 2.
Not a bad pick,
2,
honestly.
who you got there, big guy?
Who, me? I always said my number 2.
Number 1, or number 1.
Well, I'm going to say,
Yeah,
who
number
you
one.
got at number 1? Sorry.
Okay, so number 1 for me. So number 1 for me, I'm gonna go with one of the very, very first Royal Rumbles I've ever seen seen. It was the 1999 Royal Rumble, and
Nice.
I remember as a kid because I was a WCW guy. You know, like growing up, I was a WCW kid. So for whatever reason, I was like, "Oh, this is wrestling, WWF, sure, whatever." You know, just a kid. I was like, "Yeah, whatever, man." And I was watching it, and I remember just thinking, like, I think a young me was like, "What the hell is this?" Like I remember Vince and Austin was fighting, and I knew enough of the story about the boss and Austin not getting along and all this stuff. And I was like, man, is that, I'm a kid. I'm like, is that what life is? That you fight your boss? And these guys are fighting. I remember at one point, because Austin didn't really care. It seemed like he didn't care about winning. They're fighting. They're in the bathroom. And I've never had a fight in the bathroom, but I can tell you that is the worst place to be having fights at. Austin's laid out on the floor in the bathroom. Then they take him in the hospital. I'm just saying, what am I watching?
That was a great Royal Rumble.
It was so wild, dude. Like, I don't know.
So much fun. So exciting.
And I think because that was still the height of the Attitude Era where, like, when you guys said earlier, like, the Attitude Era was just so unpredictable. It was the Jerry Springer era, honestly. Like, people were throwing up on each other. Someone's penis got cut off. I mean, it's all kinds of things going on in this Attitude Era. Val Venus was never the same after that. But all this stuff was going on. China was in there. She was throwing dudes out. And Austin came back driving the ambulance. And I'm just sitting there saying, what kind of ambulance is this? I just didn't understand all this stuff as a kid. I remember just thinking, what is going on here? And the Royal Rumble 2, I remember, I mean, that Royal Rumble, 1999 Royal Rumble was also remembered for, and I know this because I remember it, but also shout out to, I think it was THQ at the time still, but the guys who do the WWE 2K games, WWE 13, they based all the story off the Attitude Era. So when they brought up the Rock and Mankind match and that what was it, I Quit match or some shit like that, and it was very brutal. Even in the game, I said, Jesus, this is not good.
In the game,
yeah, I said even in the game, I said I can't, because now I think they even cut it out, like the headshots and stuff. I think they do something where you don't even see that. Yeah. But I got to go with 1999. Vince McMahon winning was hilarious. Like, to me, when Vince does shit, I can't help but just to go off. When he won the ECW championship, I fell the fuck out. Like, I said, that is my guy. Like, he won the championship. He had the do-rag. And even telling people, like, if you really want to shut at the big title, let me know. Like, he knew that title was a joke. And he's sitting there saying, if you want to shut at the big one, let me know. So him winning the Royal Rumble was a huge spit in the face, seeing everyone boo and upset. Austin and Rock fighting because, they were going to have their match at that year's WrestleMania. I think that was 15. It's so hard to keep up with numbers. That's why, like, with George. Yeah, that's why with George, I just show a picture rather than say a number because I don't want to embarrass myself. But 1999, I don't mean to take up so much time. 1999. I'm sorry, because I don't remember 1991. No. But 1999 is my number one.
No, that's arguably some people. That's that one that people either love or don't love.
Okay.
Right. And I remember that because back then you didn't hate McMahon as much as outwardly as you hate him as a character. When I say that, like, now they can't do no good. Then that was a good hate. You know what I mean? That son of a bitch won. Oh, it was one of those kind of a thing. So I actually like that. That was a good one for you, number one. I appreciate that. It's a good one there. Who you got? The executive consultant at number one. I'm gonna finish this thing off. Last.
I like how you just stared like, me? You picked me?
Yeah, because I was like, we have a rotational flow, so I'm not even ready. But okay, I can get ready.
Real quick. Not ready. That's the rotational flow. I'm the host.
He is the host.
We've been doing me last, but that's fine.
I've been going.
I haven't.
1992 Royal Rumble from Albany, New York,
with a tear in my eye.
And what Mike Knox is talking about is his famous promo after, which everybody references.
Ooh, there it is.
Right there back. The greatest day of his life, and in my opinion, the greatest War Rumble, because during this time, which was still the golden era, transitioning over in a year or two to the new generation era, this was a star-studded Royal Rumble. Boo you. This was a star. It was all right.
I like how she loves all the Latino people and things. I respect that shit out of that, Charmaine.
40 was too much.
I love it.
Too much. But
that was a lot.
Star-studded War Rumble, and all the stars were going after that number one heel, which was Ric Flair, who played the hell out of that role. You want to talk about storytelling? This is it right here. Loved it. This War Rumble was perfection to me. I loved every minute of it. And hey, shout out to old school graphics for the War Rumble.
How about that?
This is 91, but I wanted to put it out there. Okay, I loved it. They try to mimic it sometimes today, but it doesn't work as much as these colorful characters back in the early 90s, late 80s. That's my number one, 92.
Nice.
Listen,
Mike, what you got?
Well, listen, because Royal Rumble it's my favorite time of the year, and I say that because it just really, really is. And all these eras, all these winners, all these ones, whether you picked, I picked, are great times. That's what bonds us here together now. That's what's true. Check us out, guys. Listen, WrestleMania weekend going down in Dallas, Texas. You want to be tuned in to UPR. You want to be tuned in to Around the Blocks and the BDSR radio networks. We're going to be everywhere. If there's a camera and there's a wrestling event with people there, we're going live. So if you can't be there, we're going to bring you in. Just be prepared. We might be inebriated. Okay? But we're here for you.
Oh my God.
He won't be because, he's an old fuddy duddy. He don't do anything. He's a fuddy duddy. He's a fuddy duddy. But I love this time of year because 2008, I got to witness this right here.
You were there.
Right there. It's Triple H, Batista, John Cena. 3 guys that were just on top, did their thing. Some of the biggest this company's ever seen. I remember this moment right here. Triple H giving the DX chop, the crowd going around. This moment, this is when wrestling, and I miss it sometimes, AEW gives you that feel where everybody was just on their feet the entire time watching this. Won by this man right here, Jonathan Rodriguez, Horatio, Tom Brady Cena. That's what I call him because he never loses. Okay, but I love John Cena. I do. I'm just a fan. I just got finished watching Peacemaker today. Funny show. If you haven't watched it.
How many episodes are there?
They just showed the 4th of the day. They started last week, showed the first 2 episodes in a row, and then today gave us 1 episode. So you got 4 of them out right now. Love the Peacemaker, but the Royal Rumble, as we've been talking about, guys, this is the way we go.
Right.
This is the road to WrestleMania. This is where it all begins, and this is our favorite Royal Rumbles of all time.
Right.
But we got to hear executive consultant. You got something you want to say?
Yeah, quick question before we wrap it up. We talked about the Royal Rumble matches, and Charmaine actually mentioned some things that were not Royal Rumble matches. Do you all have a favorite match from the Royal Rumble? Not the Royal Rumble match, of one of the favorite matches you can think of from the Royal Rumble.
Oh God, from the Royal Rumble itself, on top of my head, I can't really think about it. I mean, what do you guys got? I don't have anything on top of my head.
I'll start off with my
matches from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. 2003 for the WWE Heavyweight Championship of the World. It was Chris Benoit versus a defending champion, Kurt Angle. One of my favorite matches. Definitely my favorite match in Royal Rumble. I also want to throw out a shout out to AJ Styles versus John Cena, 2017 for the WWE Heavyweight Championship.
For me, we talked about this off air, yourself and I. I was there, Philadelphia. I do confuse the year. Was that 01 or Benoit won the Royal Rumble?
04.
04.
Yeah,
but
04.
I got to witness 2 of my favorites of all time and best friends, and Shawn Michaels and Triple H go at it in a street fight, or it was a no sanction.
It was like a last man standing.
No, it wasn't last man. Whatever the hell it was, they both got taken out on a stretcher. Both.
Well, no, Shawn didn't. Triple H did. That was always the thing. Triple H said, "You're going to get carried down the stretcher." He didn't. He walked off, and then Triple H got off. That's what always cracked me up, because Triple H looked like he said, "Get me the hell out of here." I remember that one. Yep.
That match, and again, just being there live, watching it, it was beyond satisfactory for me. But again, that's why I love the Royal Rumble in itself. It's not just the match.
Are you really naming stuff that did not happen in the Royal Rumble? Like what is this?
That happened at the Royal Rumble. This is the road, guys. Every story is compelling. Every story has to be. He wants to get a payday. His payday is WrestleMania. It starts here. Next Saturday, it's going down. And from now until the Royal, matter of fact, come around the block with Mike Knox and make sure you stop by UPRE on the way to WrestleMania, because we're going to be there. We're going to bring you in. I am Mike Knox. That is the executive consultant. That is Bad Guy Jack. We are the Unpopular Review, and we're out of here, y'all. It's that simple. Fingers. We're out of here, Jack.
Peace, bitches.
Ooh, son of a bitches, he said.
Oh, wait.